Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my very first Outrider build video. Now if you've watched any of my other build videos, you know I don't really use meta builds. I kind of like to go off the beaten path. And this one is definitely one of those builds. And we won't be using blight rounds or turrets. Well, we will be using one turret, but that's mainly just to proc more anomaly power and a little bit of lifesteal, but that's about it. Now the main staple of this build is to get infinite rocket ammo, hit really hard with your rockets, hit really hard with your minigun, and also hit really hard with your pain launcher, which is a surprisingly really good damage and really good ad clear. And it's also pretty satisfying to see things just explode from all those explosions. Now of course, if you're just looking for a straight up raw DPS build, just make a blight rounds build. Those are always going to be good, but if you're like me and you hate the sound of blight rounds, I never want to use those again. I hate the way they sound. Alright, that's enough jabbering on. Let's make this short and sweet. So first things first, we're going to be using 3-piece Grim Inventor set, and that's going to give us the perks. So whenever we damage something with the pain launcher, it doesn't matter what it is, we're going to get ammo back inside of our tool of destruction, which is going to be our primary damage dealer. And the more enemies you hit with pain launcher, the more ammo you get back. So if you hit 2 or 3 enemies, you're pretty much going to get a full clip back. Now the 3-piece that we're using right here, we're using the chest piece, the legs and the boots. And for the helmet, we're using the Anomaly vestige. That's going to give us pretty good stats and pretty good default perks. And the last piece right here, I'm just using a purple glove. This has pretty good stats for what we need. Anomaly power and status power, those are really good for the build. Now for the perks, I guess we'll start with the helmet. I have Anomaly Echo. That gives you anomaly power whenever you're using a skill, which is pretty much going to be every 3.5 seconds with your turret. Then we have Unstoppable Force, which is going to give you anomaly power equal to 50% of your resistance piercing, which we're going to have like 70% with this build, I believe, once everything's procced. So it's going to be a lot more anomaly power. And then we got Lucky, we got Euthanizer in the third slot. On the chest piece, we got Cannonade. That's going to give us 10 more rockets on our pain launcher, which is very, very good. And then I rolled the Rocket Man perk, which is going to give us 3 more rockets. Then we got Lucky on the third perk. We got to roll a Bang for Your Buck, which gives us 100% base ammo increase for whatever tool we use. So if we use rocket, I believe with this one we get 11 rockets. And with the machine gun, I believe it was like 260 or something like that. Somewhere around that number. And on the legs, we got, of course, Tool Destruction. That gives rocket explosion radius by 33%. And then we got Unlucky in the third slot. We got Super Collider, but I do have a better pair of legs. I just can't level them up right now. They're level 60. That rolled with Shatter, so something like that would be better than Super Collider. And Reign of Pain on the second slot. Now this is debatable. I like this because it gives you a 7-second cooldown on your pain launcher. Without it, it's at 11 seconds. So if you don't want this, you can slot something else in, but I prefer the faster cooldown. And on the gloves, of course, we got Lucky again. We got Anomaly power, status power, and then the first perk, Demolition Man. Your rocket's gonna deal right here with my gear, 3.7 million damage. Then the second perk, we got Freeze Barrage, which is gonna freeze enemies with the pain launcher, which stacks very well with the just Technomancer in general. And then we got Lucky with the third perk. We got Advanced Rockets, so your pain launcher is gonna do extra damage, but the number here is kind of lying. It's going to do way more damage than that, so just look out for that. And last but not least, we got the boots, which the base stats kind of suck. They got health, cooldown reduction, and skill life leech. Cooldown reduction is good, but we're going to be way over the cap, so that doesn't matter. So I guess life leech and health is good. This one has big sector, so your pain launcher is going to cover more area. And then I rolled Upgraded Gun. This is going to give you a minigun, an extra 30% of resistance piercing. So this is going to roll back into the Unstoppable Force that we got rolled on the helmet. So we're going to get a lot more anomaly power. The more resistance piercing that we got, and the more anomaly power, the more damage your minigun is going to do. And last but not least, we got Toxic Piercer on the boots. This was a pretty good roll. Toxic is like it's okay. I would rather something else here, but if you get lucky, this one doesn't really matter. Like, it's okay, but it doesn't matter towards the build. And that's the gear in a nutshell. Some of those things you can, tweak to your own liking. So, if you don't get these exact drops, it's fine, it's whatever. So the actual skills, of course, we're going to be using Pain Launcher, Tool of Destruction, and Blighted Turret. We're using Blighted Turret because the perk inside of the skill tree. Now I'm not going to go over the entire skill tree, but the just follow this route right here that I'm taking. And pretty much the big ones that you want is Adrenalizing Antenna. This one's going to give you 30% anomaly power for 10 seconds whenever you throw down your Blight Turret. You want the Tech Bound, which is the last one in the tree. Whenever you activate an ordnance, you get you increase your anomaly power by 50% for 10 seconds. That's on a 7.5 second cooldown with your Pain Launcher. So that's pretty much going to always be up. And those are pretty much the big two that you need. Of course, we're going to, we got kind of like a funky little password that we got here. We got a Wipeout. This is going to make you do 20% more damage to enemies below 30% health. And we're going to follow this pass, pick those up. We're going to pick up Exposing Toxin and Mark for Execution. So we're going to be doing a lot of damage. We're going to be a lot of debuffs. And yeah, so just follow this path here. And then we're going to go for the Pax tree. Now we're going to be taking, of course, Initial Striker. We got to grab that one. We're going to be taking Lethal Devices, Painkiller, Break Their Ranks, and Depleted Core. So with this setup, we're going to be doing a pretty good amount of damage. Now we won't be melting bosses in like 10 seconds, but with this build, you pretty much got to answer to everything, and you got a lot of life steal, so you can pretty much stand in the middle of things, do damage, and not die. Now the way that this build actually works is that you want to keep your turret and your Pain Launcher off of cooldown as much as possible. Like if you have it, use it, because every time you use one, it's going to boost your anomaly power by a whole bunch, and that's without even having your minigun popped. So once your minigun is out, all these damages multiply by, a lot. So right here, I'm gonna throw down my turret. So at base right here, I'm at 2.6 million anomaly power. And when you throw down the turret, that's gonna put me up to 4 million anomaly power just by chucking down the turret, which is on a 3.5 second cooldown. And so that's pretty good. Now when you throw down your Pain Launcher, that's gonna take you from 2.6 to 4.3 million. And these do kind of stack in a weird way, so you can use these both at the same time. So now that everything's reset back down to 2.6, how you really want to use this is you want to use your Blight Turret first and then shoot your Pain Launcher so that your rockets do a lot more damage. So here, I'm going to throw down my turret and then go Pain Launcher. And now I'm at 4.8 million anomaly power. And that's going to make your rockets hit super hard. And these two skills and these buffs pretty much have a 100% uptime, are very, very close to it. Now when you have your minigun out, this changes everything. Like all those numbers go up by a lot because in your helmet you got the Unstoppable Force, which is going to give you 50% of your resistance piercing as anomaly power, and also we're using Upgraded Gun, which is going to give you 30% resistance piercing bonus whenever you have your minigun active. So those two are going to stack and you're going to be having a lot of anomaly power. Now when you first pop your minigun, you're going to be at like 3.4 million anomaly power, but that's gonna come down to 2.7 once that 10-second cooldown is gone. But once you start throwing down your turret, like right here in your Pain Launcher, you're gonna be up to like 5.1 million anomaly power. So just keep chucking those, and you can pretty much steamroll through anything in the game. Now it won't be as fast as Black Rounds, of course, because those are like a primary weapon as you can just kill things from across the map. But this is really fun. The fun thing with this build is that you use it accordingly to what you need. So if you're fighting a boss, use the minigun, or if you're fighting like a lot of ads that just pushing you, use your minigun. If there's things are crowded up, use your rocket launcher. Your Pain Launcher does a lot of damage. I'm gonna put some footage after the build's over if you guys want to watch it. And the damage actually gets pretty nutty. Sometimes these those rockets that you're shooting, they're hitting like 2-3 million damage sometimes. It's kind of insane. Your rocket tool of destruction weapon, sometimes that hits like 30 million damage. Your minigun is hitting millions of damage per shot. Like it's kind of insane once you get the ball rolling. But I'll leave it to you guys to figure it out. Hope you guys enjoyed the build breakdown. I try to keep it as short as possible, but it kind of ran a little bit long. But whatever, it is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, all the shenanigans. My name is Alex. Peace.
俺があなたを